gentlemen. Check. Whoa.
I think it's safe to say that if you guys are not caught up with Arrow, there might be spoilers. So we'll start off right there. First of all, thank you, Stephen, for coming back to Dallas. We had you here last year. You brought down lights. Thank you for coming back. It's always a pleasure to have you with us, and I, especially now, like I think the build-up. These last couple of episodes, what a perfect way to kind of bring you back to us.
It's a nice time to be here because I did the TCA press tour, which is a thing that we did, and it was great because I was just torturing the reporters. It's like, this is right after I fell off the cliff. It's like, when Oliver comes back to Starling City, and I stop them and say, what do you mean he comes back? He does? They'd be like, well, yeah, Stephen, he does. Right? And so I'm glad that I'm here and back in Dallas and that I can actually talk to you guys about the show. That's exciting.
I'm curious, how did you feel when you read the script to that episode when you fight Roz? Because, I mean, obviously, you are the main character of the show, so to some extent, you've got to be thinking in the back of your head, they're not going to kill me off. But at the same time, it's pretty scary when you see that ending.
It was pretty scary, and I was excited when I read it. I mean, the most excited that I ever was when I read a script was the 9th episode, which is always our winter finale, of the first season, which is the first time that I went up against John Barrowman's character, the Dark Archer, and he, kicked the crap out of me. And that's always something that I really like about the show, because if we're going to do a superhero show about a guy with no superpowers, then his vulnerability and the very real nature of the fact that he can be beaten should always be front and center, because then it allows people to invest. So when I soared through the chest, off the cliff, woo!
And have you had people, there's been a lot of online chatter and people saying, like, how did he survive that necessarily? Was there kind of a thing in your mind of, was that also a question of, am I going to survive this? Will I be the same when I come back?
Well, he's not the same.
He's obviously not now.
No, he's not the same. And we've only seen him for a little bit in episode 12, but he's not. He's not the same. And next week's episode, he comes back and tries to be, the de facto leader / a little bit dictatory to the team. And the team says, no, sorry, buddy. That's not how things worked when you were gone. We prevailed. We saved the Glades. You may have helped a little bit, but by and large, it was us. Okay, and as a result of that, you need to respect the way that our dynamic works now. And it's tough for him. He has to change. I mean, if Oliver doesn't change fundamentally after being so soundly defeated, then it'll just happen again.
Yeah, not only are you a different person because of what you've gone through, but you've completely changed everything around you at this point, especially now with this alliance with Merlin. Where's that going to go?
Well, I mean, I'm so excited to work with, just in general, working with John Barrowman is one of my favorite aspects of doing the show, and I learn so much from him, both professionally acting on the show, the way to carry myself amongst the cast and the crew. I learned so much from John. So the fact that there's this unholy alliance, so to speak, is very exciting.
I want to ask you about the shirt that you have on here.
It's yellow, isn't it?
It's very yellow. What you can talk about?
I met a family online oh hey, there you are, you're right there, sorry. Right there up in the front row is my new friend Corey and her husband Matt, which is right there. And they give me this shirt in honor and in memory of their son Damien, who passed a few months ago. And when she handed it to me, the first thing she said was, I mean, you never have to wear it, you can throw it out if you want. Well, joke's on her. And so this chat and this panel and today is dedicated to those two and their kids.
I want to get to as many audience questions as we can. I want to tell a really quick story about you, and I don't even know if you remember this, but you and I, we did a panel last year in Vancouver, and then in San Diego, I was out there covering press and stuff for BigFanboy.com, and I didn't get a chance to talk to the Aerocast, and I'm leaving the hotel, and you're there, like, surrounded by cops. There's like the whole cast of Aero. I'm walking out, I see you, you see me, I kind of nod to you, and you just break through this whole circle of people and come over to shake my hand, and I just thought, what a genuinely nice guy that you would like make the time.
Shut up.
My camerawoman said, "Is that who I think it is?" I said, "Yeah, it's Amell, nicest guy in the business," and that just proved it. So
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
All right, let's get to some audience questions. I want to see what you guys have to ask. We'll start over here, and then we'll go over here. Right here.
Hi, I'm Story. I was wondering, what's the funniest moment that you can remember from on set?
So I have a funny moment actually from the most recent episode. You know, when I first arrived back and I'm in the Aero outfit, and it had been a while since I wore it, so I was excited, you know, that it still fit, etc. And so I'm doing the scene, but we haven't really re-established Oliver since his duel with Roz, with the characters, particularly with John. Now, John himself is a prankster, and I've been waiting to get him back for years, since the very first scene that we did together early on in the first season, the scene that has actually got cut from the episode, and John and I have told the story several times. So I come back, and you know, I'm talking to Merlin, and I'm doing all this stuff, and you know, when I start to approach him with the bow, I didn't tell him that I was going to do this, and it was on my coverage. As I approached him like this. He goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "What do you mean, what am I doing?" I said, "Oliver fell off a mountain." And now he has to drag his leg. John said, "Well, I'm not going to be able to keep a straight face if you do that." And I said, "Well, John, that's really not my problem." This was just during rehearsal, right? This was just during rehearsal. And John still had one more shot, you know, on his close-up and stuff like that. You know, I wanted to let him do his work. But the first time that I approached him, and I actually got a chance, I dragged my leg and he almost peed in his pants. Revenge. Thank you.
Thank you for your question. Let's go right over here to the left.
Hello, my name is Hunter, and my question for you today is, Felicity kind of stormed out on you this week's episode. What is the future going to be like with Oliver and Felicity?
I feel like it was less storm out, and it was more like drop a truth bomb and walk away. Whew. That was one of my favorite scenes to shoot from an acting and performance standpoint, and I had like 4 words to say, which was really exciting. You know, watching Emily work and do her thing. As for the future, I think that there was a lot of truth to the notion that, in fact, absolute truth, that Oliver really does want her to be happy. We go back and forth a lot. You know, we're fine professionally, but we go back and forth a lot over the next few episodes, and then part of the problem is that Ray Palmer is the Atom, right? He's the Atom. And we run into a scenario in an upcoming episode where the Atom is not very happy with the Arrow.
And I'm gonna block this.
With Felicity right in the middle. Anyway, no, that's not a spoiler. Maybe a little. Good answer to your question, man.
Yeah.
Let's go right over here.
Hey Stephen, my name is Amy. I'm a huge fan of yours. I love all the philanthropy that you do, all the various different families and charities that you support and you help out.
Thank
I
you.
myself am working on trying to start a small business for my living room, currently supporting 5 charities myself. I hope to grow in the future.
Cool.
And thank you for all of that you do. Also, please come to Alaska. Alaska.
Can I come in the summer?
Yes.
Okay.
No, we have a convention at the end of September, and this year is our 10-year anniversary, so please grace us with your presence.
Well, Vancouver is pretty much a straight shot, so I will try my best.
And that's my question.
Okay.
When did you get into archery? Was that something you already were into prior to becoming the Green Arrow?
I got into archery around 3 weeks prior to shooting the pilot.
Did you have good trainers? Or?
I had a really good trainer. Yeah, I think I actually talked about this last year here. I had a trainer named Patricia Gonsalves. She's been with me every single day that I have wielded a bow and arrow on set. She or one of her close co-workers have been there. There always has to be an archery technician, and it doesn't matter what time of day it is, how long we've been shooting, what the weather is like. If my form is even off a little bit, she will tell me. But no, I've really enjoyed learning archery and getting to know the community better. I don't get to shoot as much as I would like to, but I'm going to try to make up for that over the hiatus.
Are you going to teach your daughter?
Oh, yeah. I'll get her start with little Nerf arrows and stuff like that.
Thank you very much, Steve.
Thank you.
Let's go right over here.
Hi, I'm Maggie.
Hi, Maggie.
My question is, with all of the strange situations that you or your character gets thrown into over the course of the series, is there ever a point where you're filming and you just kind of stop and think to yourself, what the hell am I doing? And if so, can you describe a memorable what the hell am I doing moment?
No, I've never had a what the hell am I doing moment. I'm really grateful actually that I'm as excited to read scripts now as I was when we started. I mean, I just read the script for our 18th episode, and at the end of the script, my reaction was, oh my God, we blew up the show. Like, we literally blew up the show. Not actually, literally. I used that word wrong. Starling City did not get destroyed again. I swear to God. But, not this week, but a week from now is our 60th episode. And we'll finish this season with at 69 episodes, and then we're coming back again next year. We'll be all the way to 92. So it's all about still being excited when I read the scripts. As long as that's happening, and people ask me all the time too, how long do you think they'll do the show for? And my answer is for as long as it's good. And I think that season 2 was better than season 1, and that season 3, when all said and done, will be better than season 2. So that's trending in the right direction.
Thank you for your question. Let's go right over here.
Hi, my name is William.
Hey, William.
I was wondering if Oliver will be weaker in his final battle with Raza.
Will be what?
Weaker.
Weaker. He might be a little bit weaker, sword through the gut. But I would like to think that he's going to be smarter. You're welcome.
That's how you do a question right there. Let's go right over here.
Hi, I'm Danielle. I have a small request. Could you possibly do the opener to your character on Lego Batman 3?
Yeah, for sure. I wish that I had all of it. Like, I wish that I had the script in front of me, because I remember, first of all, yes, I will do it. But when I went in to record that, and all the different pieces and the cues and the stuff that we had to do, they booked 3 hours of time for me. It's on the Warner Brothers lot. 3 hours of time. We finished in about 38, 39 minutes. Because all I had to do was do the Arrow voice and say these really ridiculous things. Like, for Lego, it was, my name is Oliver Queen. For 5 years, I was stranded on an island with only one goal: survive. I'm not the only person on this island. Something to the effect of, there are others. And I need to become something else. Something green. And pointy. And arrowy.
Thank you for your question. Let's go right over here.
Hi, my name is Xavier, and I was wondering if there are going to be any suit changes by the end of season 3.
Suit changes.
Suit changes. The short answer is not only are there going to be suit changes, but I am going to be changing suits. I like giving answers that are somewhat obscure or abstract, and then you're going to be watching the episode and go, "Oh, yeah, that made perfect sense." Thank you for your question, Xavier.
Let's go right over here.
Hello, my name is Tristan. First off, I want to thank you for wearing the bracelet I made you.
Oh, you're welcome, man.
And then, second, you have crossed over with the Flash TV show before, and the new Titans and Supergirl or Gotham and Constantine is out. Would you like to cross over with any of those shows?
Oh boy. Well, I would, it would be interesting. I was saying this earlier. It would be interesting to cross over with Constantine, only because he knows a lot about a Lazarus pit, which is something that we've introduced to the show this year. It would be cool to cross over with Supergirl because it's Greg Berlanti, who is the Helmer and sort of the brain trust, or the center of the brain trust of Arrow and the Flash, and I know so many of the people that are involved in the production of that show, so that would be really interesting. I think Gotham would be a tough one, just because I think they're out of a different time. The crossover with the Flash was so much fun and did so well that I can't imagine a world, a universe, no pun intended, where that didn't happen and continue to happen all the time.
Hi, Steven.
Can I
I'm sorry, 1 second. Mark has a question.
Yeah, I just want to expand on that. So we know we're going to see the app in his costume.
Yeah.
And then it's also been revealed that we may see the return of the Suicide Squad on the show.
We are seeing the return of the Suicide
Will we possibly see any other DC characters that are maybe well known that we haven't seen on Arrow before?
Yep.
Let's go right over here.
Hi, Steven.
Hi.
Oh my God, nervous.
It's because Mark made you
Never
wait.
mind. I'm happy, so I will try. And I have a question, actually, but I have to decide the question on ask you for something. It's not a selfie or touch you
Okay.
in time. You see, I have a Facebook page, a Licity Facebook page, and we are over 30,000.
Sure.
And they
What's it
have-
called?
Excuse me?
What's it called?
Olicity Arrow.
Okay.
And they asked me to ask you to say hi, Olicity friends.
Hi, Felicity friends.
Thank you so much. And the other is thanks Arrow, I meet a lot of people, and I have very close friends, and they asked me to ask you if you can say hola, Olicity friends, because they are Spain, Mexico,
Absolutely.
Venezuela, Colombia.
Hola, university friends.
Very cute.
And it's really cool. Like I meet people all the time, and it's one of the neatest parts about coming to conventions is that fathers and sons and mothers and daughters and fathers and daughters and entire families that watch the show together, and they talk about how there was one family today that said that the only time that their kids who were like 7, 5, and 3 get to stay up past the bedtime is when they get a chance to watch Arrow. And that's always the coolest thing for me, because I remember television shows and movies that were like special between my parents and I that we watched as a family, so it's always a really neat thing to hear.
Okay, and my question is, sorry.
Okay.
My question is can Oliver imagine life without policy?
Yeah, well, I mean, he might have to, you know what I mean? I mean, he might have to. Just remember, it's always darkest before the dawn, so to speak. And that was a pretty gnarly parting of the ways for Oliver and Felicity. So it can only go up from there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's go around. Yeah, my mic.
Don't worry, Mark, I got you. Over there, please.
Hi, Steve. My name's Justin.
Hey, man.
Hey, you got such a great, phenomenal physique on the show. I was curious, what is your favorite exercises in your routine you like?
Well, my favorite exercise is, it's not the salmon ladder. It's really, really hard. I do it all the time. One of the things I love running. I really do love running. I've gotten much more into yoga for the exact same reason that running allows me to just. I want a piece of technology that allows me to project the ideas that I have when I run. Because I actually think that there's there must be a biological, neurological, chemical thing that happens when endorphins are being released when you run, and the ideas that I come up with, I almost want to stop and write them in a notebook. I never do, and it's unfortunate because I forget them, but running, yoga, and then, just going for a good, parkour workout is always good because it's fun, it's interesting, you're trying new things, and the next thing you know, you're 75 minutes in and you can barely stand with wobbly legs.
Thank you very much for your question.
Hi, my name is Vince.
Hi, sorry.
Mine's more of a personal thing for you because I know all the work you do on Facebook and everything. And 2014 wasn't my best year because I got sick and then Grandma passed away before Thanksgiving. So,
how you doing now?
I'm better now. I recovered. They figured out what's wrong with me. So I started working out again. And I posted on your Facebook page too, which was kind of gutsy for me because I never liked doing that kind of thing. But I was wondering.
And here you are standing in front of a couple thousand people. So
yeah.
Good for you, man.
I posted it was a 4X shirt. Now I'm wearing your new shirt. It's a 3. So
cool.
I'm good. So I just want to say thank you for all that, and then could you say hi to my friend Christine? She's watching from New York.
Is she? How?
She's gonna watch it later.
Okay. Well, hi to Christine from where in New York?
About an hour, a little town, Little Falls, New York.
Little Falls. Hi to Christine in Little Falls, New York.
Awesome. Thank you.
Cool, man.
Thanks, man. Let's go right over here.
Hi, my name is Willie.
Hey, Willie.
First off, I have yet to see this past week's episode, so a lot of spoiler balls in the face. I noticed that on your Facebook page you help out with a lot of charities and organizations, and I'm thinking of I'm wanting to start a charity for brain aneurysms because I've actually had one, lucky to survive, and I don't really ever hear about any charities for it. I was just wondering if you could start one.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can certainly help bring awareness to it, and when I was here a year ago, I had never done any charity work really. And then you know, this past year has things have changed substantially. The winery that my buddy and I do, we are mostly established with an organization called Knocking Point Gives, and you know, we're a new business, so once we get a little bit more of a runway, we're going to employ somebody, and you know, we'll be able to hit things that are maybe a little bit underrepresented. You know, it's neat to work with a charity called F Cancer, but there are 1 million charities for cancer because it has affected so many people. When I launched, and this was the best part about launching my Sinceriously campaign, is I got a chance to learn about so many new charities. Now, we ended up working with a charity called Paws and Stripes that helps veterans with PTSD. And a charity called Stand with Silence, which is mainly aimed at preventing suicide amongst teenagers and students. So, you know, that's cool. And I chose those charities because they're dealing with broader subjects, but they are small organizations. So hopefully when we get a charity like Knocking Point Gives to front this, we'll be able to tackle things like brain injuries. And I'm glad you survived, man. Thank you.
So right here.
Hey Steven, so my question is earlier in the season we had Ray Palmer introducing the idea that Starling City was going to be renamed Star City, and then you called it Starling City earlier, but we never got a formal transition to Star City. Has that plotline just been abandoned?
I don't think that it's been abandoned, but it certainly hasn't been brought up. Star City was Palmer's ultimate idea. So he transitioned Queen Consolidated to Palmer Technologies. Palmer. and you would think that eventually his vision for the city, Star City, you know, would come, but hopefully it would be, what's the word I'm looking for, accelerated by the introduction of the app. So we'll see.
Okay, thank you.
All right, let's go right over here.
My next.
Right here.
Hi, Steve.
Hi.
My name is Jeff.
What?
My name is Jeff.
I have no idea what. Yeah, I haven't seen it.
My question is.
Okay, fine, keep going.
Just move on.
It's okay. There have been worse moments of panels.
Same here. Now, my question is, if you were a Marvel character, who would you be?
If I was a what?
Marvel character.
A Marvel character, who would I be? No, I wouldn't be Hawkeye. That's cheating. That's like saying I'd be like slightly less talented left-handed me. Iron Man. I've asked that question before. I like Iron Man, and was I an Iron Man fan before, you know, Robert Downey Jr.? Not really. I wasn't. I'm more of a comic book fan through what I've seen in the future world than what I read in books. But yeah, go with Iron Man. Absolutely. No one caught that Hawkeye thing on tape.
That's gonna go viral. So I see you more as Captain America personally, but
I can't be Captain America.
Why can't you?
Because I'm Canadian. And by the way, this is an actual thing. Is that when they did the casting for Captain America? Now, I was still a little young in my career. I would have maybe got into the mix, but I certainly wouldn't have gotten it. And I think that Chris Evans is doing a marvelous job. No pun intended. Sorry. Really, no pun intended. I swear to God. but yeah, it was right there on the casting sheet. You have to be American, right? Whereas with every other one, they're like, Australian, British, yeah. France.
Maybe Captain Canuck.
Captain Canuck. Apparently there's a comic book called Captain Canuck.
Yeah, Captain Canuck. Yeah. It's not as popular as Captain America.
Wow.
You're right here.
Hi, my name is Simone. I had 2 questions for you.
Okay.
What has been the most exciting thing about being the Arrow?
Wearing the suit. Always wearing the suit. If you want to talk about this is more exciting than wearing the suit and meeting people and being able to try new things and have a platform to get in touch and to be informative and all of those things. That's more exciting. But if you just want to talk about shooting the show, it's wearing the superhero suit, for sure.
And then my other question was, how much fun have you had with your fellow castmates?
We have fun all the time. David and I in particular, we'll probably work together the most number of days. We have a blast, but everyone on the show gets along really well. Everyone, I think, has, again, almost 60 plus episodes in, everybody has really found their lane.
Thank you, Steven.
Thank you.
Thank you for your question. Let's go right over here.
Well, my name is Mehul. I'm Rudvik. My question is, how is the whole training process in learning to fight the way you did on the show?
Yeah, so people always ask, like, what sort of martial arts do you do on the show? And what I always say is we do fighting on television because or fighting on screen because that's a particular thing. So, we've always had the same stunt team, and it's always just, look, the camera's here, so this is where you want to land your punch, or the camera's here, so you need to pull your punch, or you need to exaggerate it this way. Oftentimes, there's just no good way to do something without it hurting. But we're always trying to, they're always trying to build the fights up to these elaborate things and disarms, and I'm always trying to break them down to, can I just punch him in the face? Yeah, but things have changed. When the Flash and I fought in the crossover episode, that was a new type of fight for me because a lot of it is working with a digi-double and it's swinging in air and it feels ridiculous, but you just have to go for it. And I just recently had one of those fights on Arrow. Actually, not with the Flash, but I was fighting against a digi-double bunch. That was fun.
All right, let's go right here.
Hi, Steven. I'm a big fan.
Thanks, man.
First off, if you're ever in Houston, you got a place to stay.
Thank you. My wife's family lives there, but if they're all full, what do you got? Like bunk beds, king beds, couch, futon.
And then also, how was it like to work with Manu Bennett and Colin Donovan?
Working with Colin is the best. When I was at New York Comic Con, he came out and he what's the word? Not bombed my panel. What am I looking for here? Crashed. Whew. Working with Colin was great. We always got along so well. I always thought our scenes were really organic and didn't feel stilted and television-y. Or bad television-y, as the case may be. And then working with Manu Bennett was intense. It's always intense. Manu cares a lot about everything, which is always something that I can respect in an actor. And Manu was back in a couple of episodes, which was exciting. It was great to have him back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question over here, sir. Sorry.
That's okay.
I heard that, honestly, it's kind of funny. I heard that from a certain source that, okay, it's crazy, that you're on the set, your farts really stink. It's crazy, it's crazy. But no, I'm honestly, seriously, I'm sorry. Honestly, who is your favorite person to work with on the show? And you better say David Ramsey.
sing along. You're not going anywhere, you jerk. I was like 8 seconds away from turning to Mark and I'm like, get that guy off the mic. So first of all, you talk about joking on the set. This is what can be heard whenever David and I are working together. If I'm within 40 feet of him, I'll just go like this.
It's just dumb. It's just dumb stuff. We're like two kids. It's amazing that we get any work done.
Okay, we may not be able to take any more questions. Okay, here, so this is. I've always wanted to tell the story about a running joke that we have in the show, and I've never had David on the panel. So during season 1 of the show, it was still during the Dark Knight Rises era. It actually, it's possible that it came out. When did it come out? I can't remember when it came out. The summer, was it 2012?
2012.
Okay, so we shot the pilot and then we go back to shoot the show and the movie comes out, right? So David and I had this running gag of when Tom Hardy was first showing Christopher Nolan the Bane voice.
That's right. Christopher Nolan Bane voice, right? And it was funny because the Bane voice, everyone has a comment about the Bane voice, right? Everybody knows the Bane voice. Does everyone know the Bane voice here? Does everyone know it? Okay. Well, what we did, we just had this running joke, and we have running jokes every season. This season was kind of a silly running joke, because it's kind of like, it's kind of silly. But season 1, we had a running joke, and I was Nolan, his Bane, and this is the way it went, something like this. Okay, actually, that's very good. It's very good. We have that tape. We have that tape.
You got this tape.
Oh, it was fantastic. It was gigantic. Well, we're going to need something a little bit different. Try the voice a little more masculine. Are we ready? Are we ready? And action. What a lovely, lovely voice. That was great. That was great. Now we want to try something just a little bit different now. And we got that voice. We have about 3 takes of that. Let's try it different now, okay? A little more masculine, a little more bass, and action. Right, we got that. That was great.
Chris, what you're saying is not, you want it stronger when I say it.
Stronger, much stronger, much stronger. And stronger.
So let's try the scene where Bruce Wayne has come back to Gotham, and I thought I'd kill him. I had to kill him.
Yes.
So I see him, and I'm going to fight him.
Yes.
And I am foreboding towards him.
Foreboding is a good word. That's an excellent word. And are you ready? Action.
How can you be alive?
Oh, okay, cut. This went on and on and on. And I think what was the second season? Second season running joke was,
what's in the box?
What's in the box?
You guys know the movie 7, right?
This was every 5.5 minutes. It was like, we'll do a scene, and then it was just, we'll be sitting there like eating an apple, eating whatever. It's like, it's in the box. And it just echoed throughout the whole cast. What's in the box?
It's a true story. David Ramsey said, first of all, I went and saw 7 outdoors in the theater. I recorded it, I sent it to him. And that was a callback to a text that he sent me on set from Moira's funeral with a picture of her casket that said, "What's in the box?"
That was hilarious. I couldn't resist that.
First of all, I didn't get it at first. At first, I didn't get it, and then like 4 hours later, I go, "Oh." It was actually sorry, Mark. You're waiting so patiently.
Yes, you are. And thanks. No, thank you.
Okay, all right, bud. David Ramsey, everybody. David Ramsey.
And we still don't know the answer as to whether or not your farts really stink.
They do not.
That was pretty fun, wasn't it? That was great.
The first 2 words were perfect.
If you
could switch your character, who would it be?
Oh, geez. I love villains. So, I think that, boy, I'd want to be Ra's al Ghul. That'd be cool, right? Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for being patient.
Okay, we're going to take a few more and then we're going to have to get him to a photo op session, but let's get as many as we can here.
Okay.
Go right over.
Hi, just a quick request. Can you tell me and my friend that we failed to say, just say Root and Mabel, you had failed this season?
Say your names again?
Root and Mabel.
Root and Mabel?
Yes, can you say it like
You have failed this city. I think that was good for him. I think that was good. Yes.
You're killing me, man. If y'all don't work out, I'm gonna riot. Breaking my heart. But what's your diet look like?
It looks unsatisfying is what it looks like. You know what? Forget diet for a second. The most important part of nutrition is just being at peace with yourself. If you're relaxed, if you're good, then your body will digest stuff. I mean, don't eat ice cream 3 meals a day. But at the same time, you know, if you're counting every calorie, then you're gonna stress yourself out, and that's not good either. So yeah, there's really no reason to eat dairy, but other than that, eat what you want. Thanks, man.
Let's go right over here.
Hi, my name is Lily.
Hi, Lily.
Awesome person to awesome person, real quick. I know I'm pretty awesome. I was just wondering, in your own words, how awesome you think you are.
Well, I'm not as awesome as the audacity of that question. That's for sure. But I'd say that I'm like maybe above average awesome. There's just no good way to answer the question. Everybody put your phones away and I'll tell you what I really think of myself. Thank you for your question. Yes.
Alright, my name is Dooley, and I got 2 questions. One is, if you had to choose a lantern core being, what color would you be?
What?
Lantern core. Like Green Lantern, Red Lantern.
It's DC, bro. You should know this.
He's too busy working to read comics.
I'm gonna go with beige, just to be mad at
And the second one, if let's see, if you could be the villain, which one would you be?
I'd be Roz.
Why?
Then you should pay attention. I'm kidding, man. Yeah, what?
That's how awesome you are.
Hi, my name's Kaylee.
Hey, Kaylee. Everybody quiet so Kaylee can answer the question.
My question is, what is your favorite part about being Oliver Queen?
Well, it used to be the suits I got to wear. I'd say some combination of the suits I get to wear, the speeches I get to give, and the girls I get to kiss. Yeah, I'm married, sure. But we're not talking about Stephen Amell, we're talking about Oliver Queen.
Right here.
Hey Steve, it's good to see you again outside this morning. I have a question about where the show is right now.
Yeah.
With this partnership with Malcolm, give me 3 words how to describe the partnership with where Team Arrow is, with how they feel about it. 3 words with the next few episodes.
Wow, 3 words for the next few episodes.
Yeah.
Oh, can it be 4?
Sure.
You sent us where?
Thanks, Steven.
You're welcome.
Right over here.
Hi, I'm Dara.
Hi.
And my question is,
Well, you said in
We met earlier, right? And I called you Dara, and I got
Yes.
mad because it should have been right. Okay, keep going.
But if Jared and Jensen from Supernatural could be on Arrow, would you agree to work with them?
Boy, as long as my trailer is bigger. And it is. Oh yeah, they could be on Arrow, but only if they played Sam and Dean. Right? And then maybe I was the long lost, better looking Winchester brother. Thank you for your question.
Let's go right here.
Hi, my name is Alex. I'm from the UT Archery competitive team.
Sure. Hi.
First of all, your form on the show is really, really good.
Thanks, man.
And a quick question for you. Have you ever considered competing? Because if so, I know a few tournaments.
Yeah, that's a good question. I have. Just in much the same way that I would love to do American Ninja Warrior, but I don't want to do either of those things until I'm able to really put the type of focus that, I can't do both things. Arrow is a year-round, aside from being a 190-day shoot cycle, it is a year-round commitment because my responsibilities extend so far beyond the show, which in and of itself is already almost all-encompassing. So I would like to try those things, but it would have to be after the show, I think. So I'll always be able to do archery, but hopefully I'm not too old to do well on American Ninja Warrior. Thanks, man.
Right here. I think we only got time about 2 more.
Hello. Hi, it's me, Antonio Giovanni. I'm a Marvel and DC fan, and thank you for, being the Green Arrow. Everyone loves you because you're so badass.
Thanks, man.
And second, my main serious question: what are your aspirations for the Green Arrow in the future of the season?
I think that it's a good question. We saw our hero, so to speak, get defeated pretty soundly. So I would like him to take that loss to heart and to mind and do things differently. Whatever those things may be, not necessarily romantically, as we saw in the last episode, but I mean, at least from the standpoint of being a hero and trying to affect change in the city, I would like to see him chart a different course.
Thank you.
Hi, Stephen.
Hi.
I know you're a big Seattle Seahawks fan. Well, do you ever hand the ball?
That's a good question. I've got a really interesting thing about how, 109 throws this year from the 1-yard line, that's the first one to get intercepted. I don't know. I think that all the 4 former players that say worst play call ever are just, former players aren't typically good coaches, and I always try not to overreact to things in the moment, but I don't think you get killed the way that Pete Carroll's getting killed if you run the ball, even if you get stuffed 3 times. One last question that's we don't end on a football question.
Is there one other?
Hi, my name is Jalen, and I want to ask you, but first, my mom said please take off your shirt.
I'm sorry to disappoint your mother, but this shirt in particular is not coming off during the panel.
How is it to feel to be there?
Feels good, man. When I put on that suit, doesn't matter what I'm doing, I feel strong. You know what I mean? And it was interesting having the opportunity to get in the Arrow costume taken away from me for a couple of episodes, because it allowed me to really appreciate it when I put it back on. So, putting together a good TV show that people enjoy, and playing a character that's been around since the early 1940s, and that so many people were big fans of before it got a television show, it's rewarding every day, Jalen. So thank you for your question.
We do need to wrap this up. I sincerely hope you're going to come back and join us next year. I did want to ask you, you play a hero every week on TV. Who is the biggest hero in your life?
Boy, that's a good question. My mom. My mom's my biggest hero. Yeah. The best thing you can ask for someone is just to have a positive outlook in life despite circumstances or whatever, and just she's always done that for me. So it would be my mom.
Let's give a big hand to Stephen Amell, ladies and gentlemen.